You know, after my essay on Scott Ritter, I think I should do a positive essay for a change. And one thing I've always wanted to do is an essay on why Matt Stoney didn't get the same reception Nikocado Avocado got. Just let me see. Well, damn, that video has already been made a few times. Well, nothing I can do about that. Guess I might as well have a drink before I think of what to do for my next essay, since I can't do that topic anymore. You know what? I can still make a video comparing Mr. Avocado to someone. Consumption. It's something that everyone will do in some form. Right now, you're consuming this video and consuming time to watch it. And when it comes to consumption, YouTube shows off some rather extreme examples when it comes to food and drink. One such example is Nikocado Avocado. Nick is a mukbanger who is infamous for how much he eats, as well as just how unhealthy the food he eats is. Seriously, looking at this guy's channel is a good form of appetite suppression. I'm not going to make any fat jokes about him since he's not the main subject, and also quite frankly, given how I keep on hearing he's losing weight, and then I hear he's not, and then so on, I'm honestly confused about what his goal is, so on the off chance he is actually trying to lose that weight on the time you're watching this, I'm not gonna fat shame him. Also, there's the fact that in the future, he could decide to actually commit to losing a ton of weight, go through with that, and keep it off, meaning that any fat jokes I make would date this video quite terribly. Plus, I'm already going to be having a ton of unintentional puns related to size because, well, both this channel and the other channel I'm comparing Nikocado to have very large subscriber counts. So I'm going to have a lot of unintentional puns, as I already stated. Now, if you can't tell from the intro, the original idea I had was to compare Nikocado Avocado to Matt Stoney, but I found a few videos that already do that. Then I thought of another YouTuber named Badlands Chugs, whose channel also involves consuming large amounts of stuff. Officially, the channel name is Badlands Chugs, although, as you just saw, I have a habit of misremembering it as Badlands Chug, but every upload of a video that features him that's not on his channel just refers to him as Badlands. That's because he's a professional eater and that's the name he goes by. I'm going to refer to each by the initials of their channel name so I don't call Badlands Chugs the wrong name, and also because if I was to only refer to them as one name, I can't really decide if it would be more appropriate to refer to Nikocado Avocado by the first or second part of his name. Anyways, because I realized, hey, no one's compared these two specifically, why not partially salvage my original idea and go with that instead? So here we are. Let's jump right into it. Anyways, BC has made a few videos where he eats large amounts of foods, but the majority of his content involves, well, chugging liquids, if you can't tell from the name. Yet compared to NA, who for a while was a punching bag for most commentary and tea channels before everyone got bored of him, even his own audience, based on his recent views on his videos as of late, I can only think of one case where a YouTuber called out BC, and that YouTuber was Leon Lush. Although it wasn't so much a call out as it was just making a video on him with a few jokes sprinkled in. Well, technically two YouTubers if you wanted to count Drewberry's video about how BC drank the RLC, but that channel puts out satirical documentaries, so I'm not counting it, and I will get back to the Leon Lush video later to explain what I meant. In fact, even though NA has a slightly larger subscriber count, a difference of roughly 230k at the time of writing this, I'd argue that BC is the more famous of the two as he's also a competitive eater. Plus, he's also been featured on ESPN's official YouTube channel. NA, on the other hand, does have other talents, namely he used to be a violinist, and from what I can tell, he was actually pretty talented, but at most, he only practices it now to keep up his skills, and it's far more likely he doesn't play it anymore, period. You can't help but wonder what could have been if he'd chosen to pursue a career in music. Anyways, I'd argue that a good reason for why the two got such different receptions is because the content of their videos. Most BC videos are 10-20 minutes length tops, whereas NA's videos, on the other hand, will usually exceed 40 minutes. Additionally, NA's videos are, well, the best way I can really describe them is drama material, as aside from videos he makes where he gossips with other mukbangers, there's also several videos where he and his partner, Orlin, will have arguments that, well, to be honest, feel rather staged. Either that, or they happen to have one of the most toxic relationships I've seen. BC's videos, on the other hand, are all done in a very friendly manner, and he usually has a smile smile on his face. There's also the fact that BC's main focus is on competitive eating, so technically speaking, BC's channel is a side gig. As I mentioned, NA used to be a professional violinist, from what I understand, who started to focus on mukbanging. He has played the violin in a few shorts, but I think the days of being a professional are far behind him. If NA does see this video, I'd like to state that I bear no ill will towards you, and if you actually are able to turn your life around, I would be one of the first people to congratulate you. Also, side note, BC only has one channel to my knowledge, whereas NA has a total of 4 channels. All of them have the same kind of content as far as I can tell, and I'm honestly wondering if Nikocado just wanted 4 different play buttons, even though I don't think there's a limit to how many YouTube can send you. BC is also willing to do stuff just for fun, like when he embraced the fact that he was pretty much born to cosplay Big Smoke and made a video where he consumed Big Smoke's entire order. NA kind of did something similar when he appeared in a few Oompaville videos, but he hasn't really done anything that's just like fun on any of his own channels, at least from what I can tell. Now, let's get back to that Leon Lush video I mentioned earlier. When I started making this video, I actually thought it was a proper call out, but then I actually sat down and watched it, and turns out that Leon didn't actually have a problem with BC. He did make a few jokes at BC's expense, but BC actually took things pretty well. In fact, not only did Leon get a thank you from BC in the comments, but BC and Leon later met up in person and actually got along. Overall, a pretty wholesome interaction. Now, for comparison's sake, Moist Critical posted a video expressing genuine concern over NA's eating habits. NA made a response, and that prompted Critical to make another response, which NA made 5 videos in response to. It is worth noting that when NA did actually try and lose weight, and he posted a significant weight loss, Critical actually congratulated NA. Now, if you can't tell from that previous segment, NA has a habit of milking drama. For another example, let's look at a feud he had with another mukbanger, Zach Choi, as well as Stephanie Sue, who seems to be both a T channel and a mukbanger. Basically, the 3 had a falling out. I'm not going to get into details since this isn't supposed to be a hit piece on NA, but I'll link a video by Edwin's Generation that summarizes it in the description or the paste bin, depending on how many links I end up using. And long story short, NA wound up making a total of 5 videos. Now, if it seems like I'm being a bit more lopsided and focusing more on how NA is getting into drama and not bringing anything up with BC, the thing is, as I mentioned, BC doesn't really get into drama at all. He just focuses on chugging. There's also some other stuff with NA that BC doesn't really have a counterpart to. One of them probably comes to mind. You may have seen in at least one reaction video to it. And of course, I'm talking about the fact that NA got a Meat Canyon video made about him. What? Did you think I was referring to NA's OnlyFans account and how BC doesn't have one? Get your mind out of the gutter. So, if you opted to skip ahead and go to the end of the video for whatever reason, let's do a brief recap as for the reasons why BC doesn't get the same type of flack that NA gets. It mostly boils down to the fact that BC doesn't go out of his way to generate drama, but also the fact that his channel is not his main form of content production, and also the fact that he responds rather positively to others. That's it. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Let's see what I have planned next, and oh, this is going to be a big one. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm Andres Worbel, and I'll see you next assignment. Later.